Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. Now today's main headlines. Death toll climbs to 201 from student protests in Bangladesh. EU pledges support for ceasefire talks in Sudan amid ongoing crisis. About 300,000 African children are at risk of acute malnutrition, UNICEF reports. Japan's population continues to decline due to aging and low birth rates. Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, this is Hussein Jawad. You're watching Shia Waves live from Imam Hussein TV 3 in London. The death toll from ongoing student protests in Bangladesh has reached 201 following the deaths of 4 individuals in the Dhaka and its outskirts. A curfew and military presence implemented last Saturday remain in effect, with temporary breaks from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for businesses. According to Law Minister Anisul Haq, the curfew would be lifted gradually based on the situation. Most victims suffered gunshot wounds, with 21 bodies recently buried by a local welfare organization. Protests have escalated since early July, driven by demands for reforms in the unfair public service job quota system. Police have arrested approximately 4,500 people, including many from opposition parties. As Home Minister Asaduzaman Khan accused them of inciting violence during the protests. The European Union's Foreign Policy Chief, Josep Borrell, announced on Thursday that the bloc is prepared to back all initiatives aimed at ending the 15-month conflict in Sudan. Borrell emphasized the urgent need for Sudan's warring factions to halt what he termed as man-made tragedy and engage in negotiations. The EU's commitment coincides with upcoming ceasefire discussions facilitated by the United States, scheduled for August 14th in Switzerland. The conflict erupted in April 2023, pitting Army General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against Rapid Support Forces leader Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo over disputes regarding the integration of the RSF into the National Army. The fighting has resulted in nearly 16,000 deaths and displaced millions, creating a severe humanitarian crisis. Amnesty International's recent briefing highlights the ongoing turmoil, pointing out to a continuous influx of foreign weapons from countries like China, Russia and Turkey, which exacerbates the situation despite an ineffective arms embargo on Darfur. The report calls for an expanded embargo covering all of Sudan and urges nations to cease arms supplies, stressing the immediate need for international action to safeguard civilians from further violence. Climate-related conditions and food insecurity are putting lives of hundreds of thousands of African children at risk of severe acute malnutrition. More details in the following report.
The severe drought affecting much of southern Africa is endangering the lives of hundreds of thousands of children in the 6 hardest hit countries, UNICEF reported on Thursday. Over 270,000 children are anticipated to experience severe acute malnutrition in 2024 due to this crisis. El Niño-related weather conditions, including extremely low rainfall, have led Lesotho to declare a national food disaster. In Lesotho, Malawi, Namibia, Zambia and Zimbabwe, 7.4 million children are experiencing food poverty, with over 2 million subsisting on diets that include at most 2 food groups. The drought has worsened conditions across southern Africa, leading to crop and livestock losses due to a lack of pasture and water. According to multiple news reports, climate shocks in southern Africa severely affect vulnerable children, reducing the quantity, diversity and quality of available food, impacting childcare and disrupting access to clean and safe water, exposing children to life-threatening diseases such as diarrhea. Reporting for Shia Waves, Aruj Fatma.
Thank you for that report, Aruj Fatima. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Death toll climbs to 201 from student protests in Bangladesh. EU pledges support for ceasefire talks in Sudan amid ongoing humanitarian crisis. About 300,000 African children are at risk of acute malnutrition, UNICEF reports. Also, tonight, Baghdad Metro and Karbala to Najaf high-speed elevated train to be implemented in August. Japan's population has decreased for the 15th consecutive year, with a drop of over 500,000 people, according to the government data released on Wednesday, attributing to the decline to an aging population and low birth rate. Last year, Japan recorded a historic low of 730,000 births and a record high of 1.58 million deaths. As of January 1st, Japan's population stood at 125 million. Data from the Internal Affairs Ministry also reveals that 11% rise in foreign residents pushed their population over 3 million for the first time. Foreign residents who are primarily of working age, between 15 to 64, now comprise nearly 3% of Japan's total population. Surveys indicate that the younger Japanese are increasingly reluctant to marry or have children, deterred by poor job prospects, a high cost of living that outpaces salary growth, and a gender-biased corporate culture that disproportionately affects women and working mothers. According to experts, Japan's population is expected to decrease by about 30% to 87 million by 2070, with 4 out of every 10 people projected to be 65 years or older. And now we continue with some short news. In a significant shift in visa policy aimed at attracting tourists and investors globally, Pakistan has eliminated the visa fee for citizens over 126 countries. The Prime Minister of Pakistan called this move a quantum jump to draw in business people, investors, tourists and other travellers, and to facilitate ease of doing business. The Federal Cabinet has approved the implementation of an online visa application system. Under this system, citizens from 126 countries can obtain business and tourist visas within 24 hours without paying any visa processing fee. A mass grave containing remains of at least 14 people was discovered on Wednesday near Mosul, northern Iraq, with security forces saying it dates back to when ISIS controlled the area between 2014 and 2017. According to the security media cell, preliminary examination revealed that these remains belong to 14 victims of ISIS criminals buried at an earlier time. Citizens in the northern city of El Tel Afar, west of Mosul, had found human remains in El Saad neighborhood while digging and laying the foundation for an under-construction school. Iraqi forces reclaimed all ISIS-held territory in Iraq in late 2017 after 3 years of fighting. At least 200 mass graves have been discovered since ISIS was defeated. New research indicates that Mercury, the smallest planet in the solar system, could harbour a diamond layer up to 10 miles thick beneath its crust. Scientists from China and Belgium analysed data from NASA's Messenger spacecraft, proposing that this layer formed during the crystallization of Mercury's metal core, which was liquid during the planet's formation of 4.5 billion years ago. Under extreme pressure, carbon in the mantle may have transformed into diamond, subsequently floating to create a layer between the core and mantle. To validate this theory, researchers simulated Mercury's interior conditions using a large volume press, demonstrating how minerals would behave under similar pressures and temperatures. These findings could reveal significant differences in the formation processes of Mercury compared to Earth and Mars. A boat carrying at least 45 refugees capsized off the coast of Yemen's Taiz on Wednesday night, leaving only 4 survivors. The agency attributed the incident to strong winds and overloading. It is now collaborating with the International Organization of Migration to assist and protect the survivors. No further information was provided about the other refugees. In a previous incident in June, a vessel carrying 260 migrants from Somalia capsized off the Yemeni coast, resulting in at least 49 deaths and 140 missing persons. The trial of 300 captured Boko Haram members has commenced in Nigeria. Proceedings are being conducted in accordance with international criminal justice standards under the supervision of the Federal High Court of Nigeria to expedite the judicial process. 5 judges are presiding over the trial. This mass trial is part of a broader initiative by the Nigerian government, which aims to prosecute a total of 5,000 Boko Haram members captured in the northeastern region of the country. The ongoing conflict has led to the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Nigerians each year, highlighting the urgent need for justice and stability in the region. Iraq's Prime Minister's transport advisor, Nasser al-Assadi, announced on Wednesday that the implementation of the Baghdad metro project will begin in August. In a televised interview followed by Shia Waves agency, al-Assadi mentioned that Thursday is the last day for evaluating the bids submitted by 3 international consortiums to implement the Baghdad metro project, including European and Chinese companies. He added that the international global consultant has studied these bids and will present the name of the consortium that will implement the project to the government and the Prime Minister on Thursday in a sealed envelope. Regarding the high-speed elevated train between Holy Karbala and Holy Najaf, al-Assadi said, bids have been received from 3 international consortiums to implement the project, and next month the implementing consortium will be decided and announced. We have reached the end of today's Shia Wave show. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's headlines. Death toll climbs to 201 from student protests in Bangladesh. EU pledges support for ceasefire talks in Sudan amid ongoing humanitarian crisis. About 300,000 African children are at risk of acute malnutrition, UNICEF reports. Japan's population continues to decline due to aging and low birth rates. The Baghdad Metro Karbala to Najaf high-speed elevated train to be implemented in August. You can view the latest news on our Shia Waves website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on a news agency. Contact the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Thank you all for watching. We pray to Allah Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
With more and more victims of war and poverty, the Middle East has seen a surge in patients seeking medical aid. Iraq alone has 2.4 million people without access to any form of medical assistance. In Afghanistan, due to the lack of funding and devastating conflict, the health service is at breaking point. Imam Hussein Charity aims to help provide a better future for these impoverished patients, aiding them with finances for their prescriptions as well as dialysis of their kidneys. You can help our brothers and sisters with purchases of prescriptions for just £20, and for £200 help a patient with a dialysis procedure. To donate or for more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com.
Ali and her 3 children live in this, I could literally say, 3 by 2 meter room. It is morning, afternoons, evenings, her day off, when she goes to work, when she cleans, when she cooks, when she changes the kids, everything takes place in this room.
والله شو أقول لك بحياتي؟ حياتي أول واحدة تعبانة، وأنا لي 5 سنوات أنا من تطلقت. ها بعد هذا ابني بالمهادة من انفصلت، ظليت عشي تشتغل بالغواطي حتى يدري بي أبان دائما أشتغل دواير.
Ali, a young age, he had asthma, and Ali says that